So, you're in Elizabeth City and you're looking for some help with your dog. You're in the right spot. We're going to walk through everything you need to know to find a great trainer and start building an amazing life together. I mean, just imagine it, right? Taking a nice, calm walk along the Pasquotank River or heading through historic downtown without your dog yanking your arm off. That's the goal, isn't it? A well-trained dog makes all of that possible, and that's what this is all about. Okay, so where do you even begin? Well, the single most important thing to look at is a trainer's philosophy. Their whole approach to training. It's the foundation for everything. So let's get into what that really means. All right, the big term you're going to hear is positive reinforcement. And for good reason. It's pretty much the gold standard today for training that's both humane and effective. Now, this isn't about just bribing your dog with a constant stream of treats. It's about rewarding the good stuff, the behaviors you actually want to see. When you do that, your dog gets excited to work with you, and that really builds a solid bond between you two. So what's the big difference here? Think of it like this. Modern, reward-based training is all about showing your dog what to do. The older, correction-based stuff, well, that focused on punishing what you don't want. And we now know that can just create fear and anxiety, sometimes making problems even worse. A positive approach? That builds a happy, confident dog, which is what we all want. Okay, so how do you know if you're talking to a real pro? Here's something you need to know about North Carolina. The state doesn't actually license dog trainers. That means looking for professional certifications is one of your best tools to see who's really put in the work and knows their stuff. You've probably seen those strings of letters after a trainer's name, right? It can look like alphabet soup. So let's quickly break down a few of the big ones. If you see CPDT-KA, that tells you they have a really solid general knowledge of training. KPACTP is another great one, especially for getting those obedience basics down. And then if you're dealing with tougher stuff, like major fear or reactivity, a certification like IABC-CDBC, well, that shows a much deeper, more specialized level of expertise. All right, let's talk about the practical side of things. What's this going to cost? And what kind of training format is even right for you and your dog? Let's take a look at the typical prices and programs you'll see right here in the Elizabeth City area. Okay, this table should give you a pretty good ballpark figure. So for a standard 6-week group class, you're probably looking at somewhere between, say, $140 and $225. If you're thinking about a one-on-one private lesson, that's usually in the $80 to $130 range. And then, of course, board and train programs are a much bigger investment, which makes sense. Just having these numbers in mind helps you figure out what's realistic for your budget. So how do you choose? Well, think about your goals. Group classes are awesome for teaching your dog to focus when other dogs and people are around. Private sessions, they're perfect for tackling those at-home problems, like going crazy when the doorbell rings. And a board and train can be a fantastic kickstart if you're really pressed for time. Ultimately, the best choice really depends on your dog and what fits into your life. Okay, so you've got a short list of potential trainers. Awesome. The next step is that first conversation, that consultation. And to make sure you go into it feeling totally confident, we've put together a little checklist of must-ask questions for any trainer you're thinking about hiring. So here's what you want to ask. Number 1, what's their training philosophy? The key phrase you're listening for is positive reinforcement. Then ask about those certifications we mentioned. Another great question is, how will we track our progress? You want to know what success looks like. And last but not least, always get the total cost and the cancellation policy in writing. That way, there are no weird surprises down the road. All right, so once your training is underway and you've got a dog who's a pleasure to be around, it's time to actually get out and enjoy Elizabeth City together. Knowing the local rules and where to go just makes everything so much easier and more fun for both of you. This one is the big one. The number one rule every single dog owner in Elizabeth City has to know. Your dog has to be on a leash whenever you're off your own property. That's it. Simple. That means parks, sidewalks, you name it. It's all about keeping everyone safe. Besides a leash rule, there are just a couple other things to keep in mind. First, state law requires every dog over 4 months old to have a current rabies vaccination. That's a must. And second, keep in mind that nonstop barking can be considered a public nuisance. So working on a quiet cue is a really great way to be a good neighbor. So where can you take your pup to practice their new skills? The dog park at Knobs Creek Recreation Center is your go-to spot for some safe, off-leash playtime. If you want a beautiful place to practice that nice, loose leash walking, Charles Creek Park is perfect for that. And if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, the trails at the nearby Dismal Swamp State Park are absolutely fantastic. When you think about it, finding the right trainer isn't just about hiring someone to fix a problem. It's about finding a partner to guide you. With their help, you're not just stopping the jumping or the barking. You're building a way better, more connected relationship with your dog. We really hope this helps you on your way, and we wish you and your pup all the best as you enjoy everything Elizabeth City has to offer together.